money left to Ryan by her grandfather is a key reason that we are here today. However, Your Honor, in truth, there is more to Ryan Bouchel than these $20 million. You've already met Ryan. She grew up in Emerald Heights with her good friend Becca Abels. She and Becca challenged each other as they grew up. They competed both in play and on academic teams. Becca pushed Ryan to be a better person, pushed Ryan to excel and better herself. And when the two of them got into Wheeler University together, Ryan decided that though she wasn't the most serious student, she wanted to move into Hayes' dormitory so she could be with her friend Becca. And the prosecution would have you believe that Ryan would go out of her way to destroy this friendship for a mere $20 million, and I know mere sounds like a bad word, Your Honor. However, A.G. Prout testified that before Ryan got that money, she was still well off. Ryan is from a prominent political family. To her, as she described it, that money was simply icing on the cake. The money aside, multiple witnesses have talked about their relationship with Ryan today. Ryan has been described as many things: outgoing, down to earth, even-tempered, cool under pressure. Sasha Fain even said that in his 4 years of knowing Ryan, he never once saw Ryan angry. In this light, Your Honor, does Ryan Bouchel really appear as the killer she has been cast by the prosecution? Now, the prosecution has the burden of proof in this case. They must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that Ryan is truly guilty of the two crimes she has been charged with. If, Your Honor, you are not firmly convinced of the prosecution's story, you must give Ryan the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'll get to the murder charge in a second, but before we do that, I'd like to talk about the carrying a concealed weapon charge. Today, the matter is simple. No evidence was presented in court today concerning Ryan carrying a concealed weapon at any time. Your Honor, because of this, there is no way that you can possibly find Ryan guilty. So you must return for the carrying a concealed weapon count with a verdict of not guilty. Moving on to murder. What really happened on April 29th? Specifically, what happened to Ryan? Well, several people from Wheeler went to the Woolly Woods Music Festival, excited to see the headline band, Melting Point. Notable among them were Ryan, A.G., Devin, and Becca. Now, Ryan and A.G. went in one car, and Devin and Becca went in another. They parked separately, set up their pre-festival activities separately, and roamed the festival grounds separately. In fact, Ryan and Becca had not been in contact for 2 days up to the festival, despite Ryan's constant attempts to call, text, and email Becca. Ryan was frantic to get in touch with her best friend, because she knew that she risked losing that friendship because she had made a mistake. So, to Ryan's delight, she found the opportunity to talk to Becca at the festival. She approached Becca at Sharks Organic Brewery and explained her intent in applying for the Lion Prize, apologized for offending Becca, and offered to withdraw her application. And when she left that conversation, Ryan believed that her bout with Becca was over. Ryan needed to clear her head. She had been under a lot of stress for the last 3 days. So, she went for a walk. Ryan told you today that she walked around the southeast stages for about half an hour, from 9:50 to 10:20. And we know that Ryan was down there because Sasha Fain saw Ryan. Sasha Fain, who had already correctly identified Ryan once that night when he saw her at 9:30 at Sharks Organic Brewery, a time we know Ryan was there. Now, once Ryan was finished with her walk, she decided to go back to their campsite. When she got there, she found her SUV unlocked, missing camping supplies, including her knife. Frustrated at the crime, she texted her friend A.G. and told her it was time to go home. She packed up the campsite and left. The next morning, Ryan was devastated by the news of her best friend's death. Ryan's been charged with Becca's murder. However, the prosecution doesn't really have much to substantiate that claim. There are no fingerprints, no footprints, and no DNA. Their two main pieces of evidence are a similar serration pattern and matched threads. And they aren't actually based on items from that night. Rather, items that may be similar to those items. I'd like to talk about the serration pattern first. Your Honor, Dr. Schwartz seemed very confident to start. However, when questioned about the knife, she revealed to the court today that she's not a knife expert. She can't really testify, but Dr. Schartz's is. Dr. Schartz's has treated hundreds of knife wounds, and she knows that there are many knives that could have fit the description. Now the fibers, all they came out is that they were very similar. They're not identical. What the prosecution has is circumstantial evidence. Normally, it's as useful as direct evidence. However, if all the facts are considered, and circumstantial evidence lends itself towards two conclusions, one tending towards guilty and one towards not guilty, you are required to give the benefit of the doubt to the defendant and return with a verdict of not guilty. That is the case today. The prosecution's evidence is flimsy at best. Too much doubt exists in the courtroom. Becca's killer should be brought to justice, but that killer is not my client. Your Honor, considering all the facts, you are compelled to return with a verdict for both counts of not guilty.